Lake Victoria Rescue Center underway.
It is one of the activity or a component and a broader program called National Lake Victoria Maritime Communication and Transport Project.
Good evening, I am Nasa Kingu. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBC Online. We start in Zanzibar, where the president of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has received a blueprint of the new business modern town of Mwanza City in Zanzibar, West District B, Urban West Region. President Dr. Mwinyi has received the blueprint in the State House in Zanzibar from the Minister of Trade and Industrial Development, Omar Said Shaban, praising the initial steps taken in the construction of the new modern business town. Minister of Trade and Industrial Development, Omar Shaban, says the initial stage of the work plan for the construction of the new modern city has completed after discussions with a South Korean company, Hirim, which is expected to be awarded the contract for the construction of the modern town.
Kama utakumbuka, ulitupa kazi Wizara ya Biashara, Maendeleo ya Viwanda.
As you may recall, Mr. President, you gave the Ministry of Trade and Industrial Development a task to make sure that Zanzibar establishes international conference hall due to the potential that area holds. So far, the company that was tasked to create a master plan has already finished the task, and I have presented to you the report that highlights the master plan. When I was in South Korea, I found statues of various construction projects that this company did, and this particular company is the one that designed the new airport at South Korea. I asked them to make the statue that you see here, and so now, because you are back, I want to give this model statue to you. It is a MICE complex with 4 zones. These are conventional and conference center, residential zone, hotel zone, and a business and mixed user zone.
The new business hub is expected to include the construction of a grand modern international conference hall, various luxurious 5-star hotels, vibrant business district, and finally modern supermarkets and diverse business and tourism centers. Director of Information Services and Chief Government Spokesperson Mubare Matinye says the government will continue to provide humanitarian aid to the victims of the floods and landslides of Hanang District in the Manyara region. Speaking to journalists in Dodoma, Matinye insists everyone affected by the disaster will be supported, and until now the government, in collaboration with various stakeholders in the country, have collected an amount of 4,250 million Tanzanian shillings for humanitarian aid for all victims in Hanang.
Jumla ya fedha ambazo serikali imezikusanya mpaka sasa kufikia shilingi bilioni 4.
The government has already collected 4,250 Tanzanian shillings. The government is still receiving food aid and various supplies under the Prime Minister's office through the Disaster Management Unit in collaboration with the Hanang District Office.
Matinye adds that until now, it's only a few victims that remain in the camp, while others have received temporary shelters, awaiting the government to complete the aid provision to all the victims.
Tatu zilishajengwa na ziliwezesha kaya 551 kuhamia zikiwa na watu 3,000.
Already 103 houses have been built and have enabled 551 households to move in, with 3,010 people and more than 25,000 livestock.
Furthermore, the chief government spokesperson says the government continues to educate citizens living in the Ngorongoro National Park regarding the exercise of voluntarily shifting from the park in order to protect their safety against wild animals.
halikadhalika wa serikali za mitaa.
The government continues to provide education to the communities through the media and also by sending officers to educate the people in Ngorongoro. And the government has already explained the purpose. The aim is to secure the safety of different communities as there have been incidents of citizens being attacked by wild animals.
From Dodoma, now we move all the way to the Mwanza region, where the construction of the Regional Maritime Rescue Coordination Center in the Mwanza region, coordinated by the Lake Victoria Basin Commission in collaboration with Tanzania, Uganda, and the African Development Bank, AFDB, is expected to be completed by September 2024 and will improve safety for Lake Victoria users, including fishermen, passengers, and other lake operators. Speaking in Mwanza during the start of the construction of the center, the Executive Secretary of the Lake Victoria Basin Commission, Dr. Masinde Bwire, says the project also will involve construction of other small 12 search and rescue centers and will cost 30 billion Tanzanian shillings. Here's a report prepared by Moses Matthew from Mwanza region.
Approximately 1,000 people are dying in the Lake Victoria every year owing to drowning accidents of ships and vessels. Many of the accidents that cost the lives of public following to the different bases, including the lack of rescue gears together with lack of buoys and rescue experts. The East Africa Community EC, via the Lake Victoria Basin Commission LVBC, in facing calamities of water accidents in the Lake Victoria, is implementing a zonal communication transport project in the Lake Victoria.
The Mwara Sea building that we are building here in Mwanza is it is one of the activity or a component and a broader program called National Lake Victoria Maritime Communication and Transport Project.
The zonal epicenter for coordinating search and rescue in the Lake Victoria is constructed in Mwanza City, while the 12 small centers for search and rescue are continued to be constructed in the lake in Uganda and Tanzania.
After perfect implementation of this project, and when the coordination center is well equipped to reduce significantly those tragedies that are happening in the lake, we want to make transport in the lake to be safe, secure, reliable, and dependable.
The project's cost is of more than 4 billion shillings funded by the government of Tanzania and Uganda, as well as the African Development Bank, and will be concluded in November next year.
All the casualties who are brought from the sea, they will be first brought to this center, taken care of, and if the cases are manageable, they will be released to their homes. But those who their cases are not manageable, they will be now transferred to higher services facilities, health service facilities within Mwanza, and some will be even taken to other hospitals which are even outside Mwanza.
The advice of Zonal Coordinating Search and Rescue Center is executed by the contractor from CK Associates and Ubuntu Consulting Limited of Uganda.
I expect this project to be completed within time because we have a good program. The funding is there. We've been assured by the bank the funding is very available, and also the authorities have been very cooperative.
Project of communication and transport in the lake is expected to cost 30 billion shillings.
Uwepo wa hiki kituo maana yake utaenda kusaidia moja kuweka usalama kwa ajili ya watu wanaotumia ziwa Victoria, lakini pili kama nchi tutaendelea kunufaika kwa ajili ya mambo ya ulinzi na usalama ambao utakwenda kupatikana kwa uwepo wa hiki kituo. Kwa hiyo faida ni nyingi, na kama mkoa sisi ambao ndio tutakuwa wenyeji tunakwenda kunufaika.
Moses Matthew, TBC News, Mwanza.
Thank you very much, Moses Matthew from the Mwanza region. Now we're moving all the way to Tanga region, where the residents of Handeni district have been relieved of traveling more than 150 kilometers to Bombo Hospital to seek health services. This is after the government releasing more than 3 billion Tanzanian shillings for the construction of a hospital in the district. Here is a report prepared by our reporter Ismail Bugula, who traveled all the way there to visit the hospital, and his report is being read by Kanki Mwaigomole.
Residents of Handeni District Council had to walk 150 kilometers to Bomba Hospital in Tanga region to seek medical services, but now all services have been brought closer to them.
In the past, we used to get difficulties due to traveling long distances. Pregnant women had to travel long distances as well. Those were difficult times for us.
In the past, we did not have neither X-ray nor ultrasound, but now we have them all. We used to travel to Handeni or Bombo, but currently we can get all service here.
More than 800 million have been used for emergency services in the hospital, giving relief to the patients.
Kipindi cha nyuma wagonjwa wengi walikuwa wanaweza kupoteza maisha aidha kwa kupoteza damu nyingi.
In the past, the patients used to lose their life due to loss of blood. This was mainly due to distance they had to travel to get health services. They had to travel to Bombo, whereby the distance is 150 kilometers. And they had to go to Dar es Salaam, whereby the distance is more than 200 kilometers. Currently, all those services are available here.
More than 850 million Tanzanian shillings in 2022 and 500 million Tanzanian shillings in 2023 have been brought to the hospital, aiming to improve medical equipment, hence to improve the services.
Sambamba na majengo ambayo serikali imejenga, lakini pia imeleta vifaa tiba.
Apart from the buildings that the government has constructed, the government has also bought medical equipment worth of 850 million. That was last year. In this financial year, the government has brought 500 million for medical equipment.
More than 300 patients have received emergency care at the hospital within 6 months, and more than 200 women have also received surgical services.
Equity Bank Tanzania has entered into an agreement with a Simu Solar company aiming at facilitating availability of renewable energy tools for agricultural and fishing production. Signing the documents of the agreement in Dar es Salaam, the head of the legal affairs of the bank, Mboneko Mugisha, says the aim of the agreement is to support Tanzanian farmers to focus on sustainable agriculture using solar energy in irrigation as method to deal with the effects of climate change and also increase production.
Moja kati ya mikakati ya benki ni kuhakikisha
One of the bank's strategies is to ensure that farmers in the country farm productively. The bank has entered an agreement with the Sim Solar to ensure that farmers get the best tools that use solar energy, of which these devices will help them to practice agriculture at a cheaper price.
Wasaidia kufanya kilimo kwa gharama nafuu.
Wakulima wanaweza kupata.
Farmers can get solar pump irrigation systems which are cheaper and do need fuel to run them.
Tumeungana na Sim Solar kuhakikisha kwamba tunampa mkulima.
We have teamed up with Sim Solar to ensure that we give farmer loans, of which two things will be happening at the same time. While ploughing, the farmer will automatically be conserving the environment.
The Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Minister of Finance, Elijah Mwandumbia, urges graduates of the Tanzania Institute of Accountancy, TIA, to ensure they develop competence to provide professional advice and conduct research that solve real challenges, especially in trade and industrial sectors. He made the call in Dar es Salaam during the 21st graduation of the Institute, which has witnessed 7,222 students graduating in the field of accounting, manufacturing and supply, as well as financial management. On the other hand, the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute, Professor William Palangio, has said that the Institute will continue to produce experts in accounting to support government's efforts to make trade and industrial sectors in the country more competitive.
Ni muhimu sana kuhakikisha unatumia uwezo ulionao.
It is very important to make sure you use the power you have, the resources available and the opportunities to bring products and services that will bring change to our communities.
Kwa kipindi cha Januari 2023,
for the period of January
2023 to November 2023, various training have been conducted for public servants, including training to prepare for retirement, life after retirement, entrepreneurship, customer service training, ethics in public service, while collaborating with the Ministry of Finance.
Tukishirikiana na Wizara ya Fedha.
We wish all the best to the new graduates in town and we welcome them to the real world. Deputy Director of the Department of Wildlife in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Fortunata Msofe, says Tanzania has been uplifted to first level in East African region by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Plants and Animals, boosting the tourism of elephants in Tanzania. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, the Deputy Director, Dr. Msofe, adds that due to the increase of elephants from 45,000 in 2014 to 60,000 in 2023, more tourists have been attracted to visit the country, and that will increase foreign exchange in Tanzania.
It was 10 years ago when we had the rampant population poaching of elephants in many of our major ecosystems. And so it is good news that from this revelation that Tanzania has been uplifted to Appendix 1 in the Eastern African region. We are the first country. Now we are going to have more expansion on the trade on the elephant, which is one of the iconic species and that can earn more foreign currency from tourist hunting.
Tanzania National Wildlife Committee are meeting in Dar es Salaam to discuss human-wildlife conflict and set out strategies on how to protect elephants and also how communities can maximize on tourism attractions in their areas to increase their income. And now, before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Stay tuned now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled and read by Nyambona Masamba.
The security forces in South Africa have laid up a crackdown on illegal miners. On Thursday, dozens of army police searched shops, seizing money, equipment in the Saw City settlement Nyekariso, west of Johannesburg. More than 7 people, most documented migrants, were held over 2 days in the area, which lays near disused gold mines. For Provincial Police Commissioner told the media, some were arrested for drug dealing and possession of illegal firearms, he added. Along with high unemployment, legal immigration, rampant crime has become a key political issue ahead of general election next year. President Cyril Ramaphosa told the passing out ceremony for police recruit in the central city of Kimberley Thursday that the country was tired of crime. He revealed that over than 250,000 arrests were made and 3,200 firearms were seized since authorities launched a crackdown on criminality in May. To Senegal. Among the southern hopeful migrants attempting the crossing to Europe, started Senegal fishermen had been lured by the dream of better life. Small-scale fishing has long been a mainstay to Senegal's economy, but overfishing, industrial competition, and impacts on climate change are now forcing many fishermen to flee. In recent years, thousands of Senegalese have attempted dangerous journey of 1,500 kilometers towards Spain, Canal Island, and European Union. Many, however, do not reach their destination, with dozens of Senegalese among the 633 reported drowning this year alone. We are heading to the Middle East. U.S. defense officials say the Houthis in Yemen have fired ballistic missile in Red Sea, missing a container ship. It happened north of the Bab al-Mandeb Strip on Tuesday. Houthi cruise missile damaged a tanker in the same area. The group has increased its strikes in the region in response to Israel's war on Gaza. Meanwhile, the U.S. is expected to announce a special multinational task force in the Red Sea to deter the Houthis from further attacks. Finland is completely shutting its border with Russia on Friday to the same flow of asylum seekers. The decision comes on a few hours after Helsinki relied a similar restriction that has been placed for 2 weeks. During the month of November, at least 900 asylum seekers from multiple countries tried to cross from Russia. Finnish authorities say the influx has been orchestrated purposely by Moscow to overwhelm its smart border pass. Back again to Africa. The U.S. announced it's ready to resume cooperation with Niger on the condition that the military regime that came to power on the end of July in commit a notable brief transition. Washington suspended cooperation with Niger on the July 26th coup that overthrew the elected President Mohamed Bazoum.
That's the international news as compiled and read by Nyambona Masamba. Now, sports news up next. In sports news, Young Africans head coach Miguel Gamondi says his squad had enough time to prepare for the Tanzania Premier League match against their opponent Mtibwa Sugar to be played at the Azam Complex Stadium, Chamazi, tomorrow. Head coach Gamondi confirms that there will be no big changes in his first 11 choice, hoping that the players will replicate what they have done in other games to beat Mtibwa Sugar and win the match.
We prepare well. We have a very good week to recovering after the long trip we did in Ghana and to prepare well this game. As you know, we have some suspended players, some injured players, and for sure we try to do our best tomorrow. We respect the opponent. We need to sink in tomorrow's game, and always our mind is on Wednesday. We have a very crucial game as well.
We are well prepared so far after our journey from Morogoro. The team is safe and ready for the game, psychologically, physically, technically, and the overall pre-match meeting will go well.
Young Africans sits at third place at Tanzania Premier League table with 24 points, while Mtibwa Sugar are at the bottom of the league table with only 5 points. Tanzania international boxer Abeid Zugo says he's ready to showcase his boxing talents against world champion Simpiwe Vetieka from South Africa in a 9-title fight to be held tomorrow in Dar es Salaam. Boxer Zugo told journalists in Dar es Salaam that he has trained harder, ready to outclass former WO and IBO champion Vetieka, while Simpiwe says he is in Tanzania to showcase his power in boxing by beating Zugo.
I mean, I got this preparation from the world trainers that they train a big champion in the world, you know. We got a lot of trainers, more than 5 trainers coming from overseas. They came here like 2 weeks before. They give me a lot of techniques, they give me a lot of things. They sit down with me for over 2 weeks. So I know everything. So I'm well prepared, and I'm going to show the fight that they never expect. They won't see the same Zugo that they always know. Expect is the first Tanzanian man since he got independence to win against a world champion.
I don't think the fight will be easy because I'm fighting Zugo to his hometown. I think he's ready for me. Yeah, and I'm here to prove myself that I'm the best boxer.
Abed Zugo has played 13 boxing matches and won all of them, and now he's facing a tough opponent, Simpiwe Veteka, a former WO and IBO champion from South Africa. And we say all the best to Zugo. And that's the sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Dear viewers, welcome to the next 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. My name is Margaret Masawe. Rainfall signals are still seen in many areas of the country, especially over Lake Victoria Basin towards the western part of the country. And tonight we expect partly cloudy condition and thunder showers over Lake Victoria Basin and the western part of the country. Northeastern highlands are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas. The rest parts of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas. Tomorrow we expect partly cloudy condition and thunder showers over Lake Victoria Basin, western part of the country, Rukwa, northeastern highlands, entire coast, central part of the country, while southwestern highlands, Ruvuma, Morogoro are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas, and the sun periods. Now let us see the next 4 days with a forecast for some regions of the country. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, we thank you for watching us.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa Kingu, and we wish you a good night and a productive weekend.